welcome to the video. Right, no sooner had we had Rob Walker's Vinyl Tag 2024, and then Alex from Beer and Vinyl came up with his own version for prog rock fans. So it's too hard to resist it. It's the last vinyl tag I'm going to do in 2024, but this one is worth spending a bit of time on. We got a brush. Right, anyway, 20 questions, all related to the prog rock genre. So number one, show a favourite debut record. Well, you can't get past In the Court of the Crimson King by King Crimson. Classics, 21st Century Schizoid Man, the title track, Epitaph. Absolutely fantastic album, fully formed. It's just incredible. This is a debut album, and it sounds like a sort of album one of the big, giant progressive rock bands would get around to doing around their album number 4 or 5, but it's stunning debut album. Question 2, show a prog artist album you got into in 2023, and this is The Amorphous Androgynous. We persuade ourselves we are immortal. Got some mostly instrumental music, definitely prog. Peter Haml sings on the title track. Very, very good. If you're interested in Peter Haml, interested in prog, this is definitely worth picking up. And this is from the last couple of years anyway. So, right, number 3, Golden Jubilee. Show a progressive rock album celebrating 50 years this year. They're rather unsung these days. Barclay James Harvest, and This Is Everyone Is Everybody Else. First album for the Polydor label. Those who know them know that they were a bit fixated with the Beatles, latter-day Beatles. Lots of mellotron, great melodies, soft vocals, nice guitar, clean guitar soloing. It's lovely, really nice. Good band. I could have picked The Lamb Lies Down on Broadway or King Crimson's Red, but Bartley James Harvest, Everyone Is Everybody Else. Show a favourite live album. Well, the best live album by this band. I mean, most people plump for Seconds Out, but that doesn't have Peter Gabriel on it. And this has the definitive versions of Watch of the Skies, Get 'Em Out by Friday, The Return of the Giant Hogweed, The Musical Box, Fabulous Musical Box, and The Knife. Brilliant, raw, beautiful, melodic, and ferocious in turns. Fantastic live album. That was released on a budget Charisma label in 1973. Right, question number 5, show a non-UK prog band, and that is Sweden's The Flower Kings. I don't know what album this is in their catalogue. It's a double. They're all doubles. Influenced by all the greats in the classic prog rock era. Great guitar, great keyboards, great dynamic drumming and everything. Just fantastic band. Really, really good. But it's a lot to digest if you're going to get into the Flower Kings. Big catalogue, just huge. Anyway, number 6, show a proto-prog album that's progressive music prior to In the Court of the Crimson King. And that is The Nice and Ars Longa Vita Brevis. And this is by, it has Keith Emerson, of course, Keith Emerson's band before he joined Emerson, Lake and Palmer. So the classical influences coming through strong here. And that's the year before King Crimson's debut. Show an album with an epic song over 10-15 minutes. Now, where is that one? I put this down somewhere. Here we are, and that is Transatlantic. And this it's like a super group. You've got, who have we got? Roy Stolt from the Flower Kings. You've got Neil Morse, Mike Portnoy, and Pete Trevivas, I never get that right, from Merlion. But the first track on the album, the debut album, is called All of the Above, and it clocks in at 30 minutes and 59 seconds. And it's kind of reminds you of Close to the Edge by Yes. It's good, though. It's good. Right. Show an album with a proggy song from a non-proggy artist. Well, who'd have believed it? But Elton John, the opening track of Goodbye Yellow Brick Road, Funeral for a Friend, and that goes straight into Love Lies Bleeding. What a fantastic medley, as it were. Just wonderful. And I think on his final farewell tour, he opened the gigs with those two tracks, Funeral for a Friend and Love Lies Bleeding. great album. My first, bloody the hell, I need to get a haircut. An underrated gem, a forgotten favourite, an artist that is underappreciated. Well, everyone goes to Tubular Bells, but I think this is far superior, and that's Mike Oldfield's third album, Armageddon. Folk influences, great rhythms and like Burundi type drums in here, and just scorching guitar at the end of part one. Absolutely fantastic. The peak of Mike Oldfield's career, in my judgment. An album featuring your favorite progressive or prog vocalist, and that is Vagra Generators, H to He, Who I'm the Only One, which was their third album, or the second album on Charisma. And the lead singer, of course, is Peter Haml. Fantastic singer. That's number 10. Number 11, which is It Prog? Sean album you describe as art rock. Well, 10cc's How Dare You is great. The break in the middle of I'm Mandy Fly Me, which is the single. It's got fast strumming of 12 string guitars. Sounds very much like Genesis, but there's loads of progressive influences all over this. And if you're not convinced of that one, well, the preceding album by the same band opens with a 3-part One Night in Paris, which is just stunning, fantastic. Both album covers by Hypnosis as well, so some prog credentials there too. Right, number 12, show a solo album of an artist from a prog band, and that is King Crimson's Robert Fripp and his first solo album, Exposure, which includes a who's who of rock music at the time. And you've got Peter Gabriel, Haml, Phil Collins, Brian Eno, Daryl Hall, Tony Levin, Jerry Marotta on drums, and others. Very eclectic album, shall we say, but worth having. Jack of all trades, master of all, show a genre-bending album and artist. I don't know if anyone's going to come up with a different artist other than Steven Wilson. And this is the Raven that refused to sing. He's all over the place in terms of genre. Of course, Porcupine Tree, from the early proggy, psychedelic, early Pink Floyd influenced early albums in the 1990s, before more of a kind of a prog metal stylings that came in later on in that decade, in the early 2000s. And he's been experimenting with modern day prog and pop music in more recent years. But this is a great album. So that is Steven Wilson. The 80s Called, show an album from the 80s. Well, this is not an album, but it might as well be. And that is Merlion's Market Square Heroes. And I say that because side 2 has Grendel on it at 17 minutes and 40 seconds. It plays at 33 and a third. And it's produced by David Hitchcock, who, if I recall, he produced the Genesis albums Trespass and Nursery Crime. And Grendel is a rip-off of, if I haven't already said that, of Supper's Ready. And there's a section towards the end which is just like Apocalypse 9/8 from Supper's Ready. But it's great fun. I just played that before I switched on the camera today. Not Dead Yet, show a late career album. Well, I'm going to go Peter Haml again. And that's an album that was released. Let's just check. This is called All That Might Have Been. Where are we? 2014. It might have been released in 2015. About his 42nd or 43rd album. Maybe including live albums there as well. But this one's autographed. Look at that. Nice. Best autograph in pop music, rock music. An artist you miss. Easy for me. And that is David Longdon from Big Big Train. Let's get a picture of David here. This is a program from the first gigs they did at King's Place in London, and that's David there. Sadly, fell down the stairs in 2021 and in his 50s. Fantastic singer, absolutely brilliant singer. Auditioned for Genesis after Phil Collins had left in the early mid 1990s. They dropped the ball. They should have took him on, because not only is he a fantastic singer, or he was a fantastic singer, he was also a great songwriter as well, and he's contributed massively to these two amazing albums from Big Big Train, and that is English Electric Part 1 and Part 2. Both double albums. Seek them out if you're interested in modern progressive rock music with the best singer in prog since the 70s. And if you like Genesis the period of Genesis, maybe from Selling England by the Pound through to Wind and Wuthering. What a fantastic band. David Longdon, very sadly missed. Number 17, Prog Goes Pop, show progressive pop album. Well, this is Frankie Goes to Hollywood, and that is Welcome to the Pleasure Dome. Produced by Trevor Horn, he of Yes fame and the Drama album and Drama tour. But I think Steve Howe is all over this as well. The first track, side-long title track, awesome progressive classic from the 80s. Unbelievable. Number 18, show a prog album with cover art you love. And I used to get the piss taken out of me years ago by an old friend who's not around these days, but he always used to kind of wind me up and said I was obsessed with Green Slade. And this is, and I wasn't, of course, but this is a great album cover. 1973's Bedside Manners Are Extra with a Roger Dean cover. Yeah, good band. Keyboard based mostly, but really good. Number 19, an album you'd recommend to a non-prog fan. It's hard to get past A Trick of the Tail. Remarkable album made in the aftermath of Peter Gabriel leaving the band. Everyone thought they were going to go to the wall, but they came up with an absolute classic. And apart from the title track, which sounds very Beatlish, the rest of it is definitely prog, with fantastic singing, drumming, dynamics, melody, great guitar, great keyboard, the whole thing, the whole package here. It's absolutely wonderful. So you say to someone who's half interested in prog, just listen to this 3 times and you'll get it. It's a really fantastic album for newcomers. And number 20, favorite prog album of all time. Well, it's Selling England by the Pound. A couple of weeks ago, I caught a video of a reaction video on YouTube to Firth the Fifth, which is the first track on side 1, which, if you know it, it has the 3-minute guitar solo by Steve Hackett. I think it's the best guitar solo in rock music. But it was just, even watching it on my iPad on YouTube, I got goosebumps after hearing it hundreds of times. So I sat and watched about 20 reaction videos just to see what people's reaction was to Firth the Fifth. But the whole album is absolutely magnificent. Brilliant singing. It's characterized by the smoothest transitions between different sections of the songs that they ever did. It's just a wonderful album. That's the best progressive rock album of all time, and I'm sure you'll agree. Right, that's enough. So that's the end of this video, and I'll see you in due course when I get around to talking about maybe 1978. See you next time. Bye-bye.